And we are live. Welcome back,
We're locked in.
Parker Rate Chat. Um, Interesting week. Before we start this video, we're at 86k, and I feel like cryptocurrency is taunting us. We almost came in the 70ks, got to like 80, 85 is what I've tracked it on here. We're back at 86. We're getting taunted. We're getting very taunted. How are you feeling about the market? How are you feeling about Sui? That's what I want to ask you, Parker, specifically. And also the other question, how do you feel pulling up to the stream with a tank top?
Was going to change, but Jake requested me to stay. He said it looked really great, so I'm just keeping him out. Sun's out, guns out. As far as the market, everything is bouncing just a little bit. I do think that this is going to be short-lived. I expect maybe we might still keep going to the upside, but I do think we need one last good whooping, to be honest. So I'll be looking to make some more aggressive entries if we do get a retracement back down, but I'm happy I got some good DCA ins the last 2 days. So I'm exposed if we keep going up, but I would expect to move to the downside. As far as Sui, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, so Sui and most altcoins, just as we look here, is bleeding off the chart. If we can show that Isaac on screen, please. Bleeding off the absolute chart. We have our GG indicator here, and it is just bleeding. But most altcoins are like that, bar from Bitcoin Cash. And what's the other one that Bobby's always talking about? Zcash, right? Those are going the other way, which is kind of this new narrative, etc., but I'm not in them. What's interesting, when we have Bobby back on Thursday, I don't want to say he's nervous for this, but his 90k levels are gone. Let's be honest. His 90 to 94k levels are gone. In fact, we went 10k below that. The good news for him is, like, he's been in this 85k cash position anyways. So I don't know if he's deployed that. That's one of the questions I'm going to have for him on Thursday, depending on where we are in the market. He might be doing it right now. I know you said you just bought some. What did you buy? You don't have to say dollar value, but what did you scoop up?
Bitcoin, Sui, and technically a little bit of Arrow, technically.
Did you do the Solana to Sui like you said you were potentially going to do, or not yet?
I have not made that rotation yet, but I am simplifying my wallets so that will be easier to do later.
Okay. Another interesting thing I want to talk about, and this will be interesting to see you guys in chat as well, is the 10th of October, right? I think that was, I've got some facts here. It was $20 billion liquidated. Okay, now that was one of the biggest terms or numbers, not in terms of cryptocurrency, in the world. Is that right? That's what I heard. $20 billion were liquidated from traders on these exchanges. And I don't like to really say there's manipulation, but that's obviously just the reality here, right? And the harsh reality for us, not us really, we're hodlers, but the harsh reality of people that were going long or even buying the tops, they're going to have a bad Christmas. to be honest, all these traders are just having a really bad Christmas.
Christmas hasn't come yet. It hasn't come yet. There's still time. This is Thanksgiving, where you're going to get clowned at the dinner table, and then Christmas, hopefully a little rally.
Because Thanksgiving in 2021, we don't really do that in the UK. I don't even know that. Is that the turkey thing? We don't really do that. That's not a thing that we do.
You don't have that?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever sat down. I think it's an American thing. But Thanksgiving in 2021 for you guys was probably great, right? That was when alt season was starting to kick in. Is that November 27th or 28th? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a very different story. Unless cryptocurrency was to recover in the next 3 days, Thanksgiving is going to be, you're going to be one of those guys that pulls up to the table, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your cousins, etc.
How's our little investor?
Yeah, they're going to be looking at you with a different taste, But again, you know, we always say this game's for the longer term, or it should be, and you shouldn't be discouraged about a price of $86,000 on Bitcoin, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, just something to note there, that 10th of October was $20 billion, one of the biggest liquidations we've seen, which is crazy. What happens? I remember in 2021, you weren't in cryptocurrency kind of 2021, July, June, May time, were you? I don't think you were.
Outside of just dipping my toes in Dogecoin for the first time, not having any clue what I was doing. Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah. Basically, if I pull this on the little weekly, it reminds me of what we experienced in 21. We had the 64K, then we got cut in half. We spoke about this so many fucking times. It was basically the same thing, just that some much of a larger level in terms of percentage. Like Bitcoin hasn't been cut in 50%, not yet. It's getting close, but not yet. And what you would see is like the leverage traders getting wrecked, and then the hodlers. This is the hardest one for me to like, because I know there's a lot of people in the UK that I know that have messaged me saying they just can't take it anymore. And then I think about the general public, because these are personal friends. Like how many people are in that situation with even kids and wives, etc., that needed to make cryptocurrency happen. This was like a leverage trade, blah, blah, blah. All of them got wrecked, and then the hodlers started to get wrecked. And I kind of think we're seeing that right now. I don't know about in your YouTube comments or your Twitter account, whatever, but I definitely see on mine the basic words of, I can't take this anymore. And that pains me as a content creator or investor myself, because when I see that, I just know the devastation they're feeling. They're thinking about selling for maybe 2, 3, 4 days. It gets to that point, and maybe 80K was the point. Now it's at 86. So like, fuck, they're already kicking themselves, right? I just know the kind of stages of that investor. Thinking about it, potentially going to do it, does it. And then they're out the game. And then what else have they got to do? And then, as you know, and you probably know as well, they come back in at higher price. It always fucking happens.
Oh, yeah.
So,
all the way back up.
Again, we don't tell you what to do, but if I was to tell you what to do, you don't want to be... If you're getting out, don't buy back in higher, okay? If you're getting out and then buying back in lower, congratulations. That's how you want to play it. Or if you're just doing nothing, you just do nothing. Or buy like he's done on his solid coins. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Talk about your kind of points, right? I've got some points for you before I bring them up that you want to talk about, because that's kind of my main points. We're broken Bobby's 90K level. I'm sure he's got some interesting stuff to say on Thursday. Sui, Solana, XRP, AVAX, every coin across the board, bar from a select few, are bleeding so effing heavily that it's hard. And again, the last thing I want to say on this, how many people would love to get in these prices back at 125K on these altcoins? Like,
everyone, every single person.
You remember Jesse, one of our biggest guys back in the day when we started to really change our group to like the 10K fast track with DeFi, etc. I remember him printing on Sui and Turbo Finance, right? And I think that was at the prices of like Sui was like 70 to kind of 90 cents. And everybody at $5, $3, $4 was like, fuck, I wish I could be like in our group, right? Not even the general public. But now you're getting to those levels again where I'm not going to say it's going to go to 70, 80, 90 cents, but it's at $1.30. It's at $1.30. When 5 was like, I wish I could buy this at sub 1.5. Well, now you can. Not that it can't go to sub 1, but now you can. I don't know. I just think it's
interesting. Gotta ride with the fear, man.
It's always interesting how nothing changes really with the project, just the price. And it just makes everybody change their fucking mind for whatever reason. And I get that because it's scary, because you have to ask yourself, is Sui ever going to come back to 5? Is Sui ever going to come back to whatever the price it was at $5? It might not, but what's changed in the project? Nothing. It's just the market. So, I don't know. No risk, no story, as they say. Let's talk about
it hurts to see, but now I actually can go in big with my stable coins. You know, it's like I was not going to dump stable coins into Sui at $4 to $5, even though I love the project. I just wasn't going to do it. And now I have the opportunity to do it and actually not feel bad about it. So, if anything, it's somewhat of a blessing. Does it suck to have coins ride down? I mean, of course so, but I get to just pack so many more bags. And for the people in chat saying Sui at 40 cents, I'd be surprised to see that. But I guess we'll cross that bridge if we get there, which I would not expect.
All right, before we get to your points, we have to address the super chats. They get priority. Thoughts on where ADA is going this cycle? We're getting a lot of ADA people on this, and that's great. We don't have nearly any ADA guys in our community, to be honest. There's a couple. But the general public, what I've seen, like how many questions we get an ADA question all the time, all the
every stream we get a super chat for ADA. I think
we do. And is it the same guy? I don't know. But let's talk about ADA is going this cycle, and anybody in chat that has ADA as well, we'd love to know your thoughts, because I'm not personally a holder of ADA as far as I check. I don't even think I have any, even in my dust wallets. But ADA's had a difficult cycle because, again, what we talked about before and what a lot of people are asking themselves is, you know, we were promised a 2021 high. Not that we were promised, but that's what we all thought, right? Because what most people did, and I'm guilty of this too, you probably are as well, not on Sui because it's his first bull run, we looked at 2021, if that's AVAX, if that's XRP, if that's Solana, etc., and some of these coins have went there, but coins like ADA haven't came close to, I don't know, the $3 that it would have got on probably TradingView. Hasn't came close. Barely touched 1.5. So there's probably a lot of people in ADA, whether they round tripped it from 21, or whether they started to buy back in here thinking it was the cleanest 67X of their life. And it still could be, but we're a long way off ADA's price of $3. So what do you think, Parker? Thoughts on ADA this cycle? What does this cycle mean?
I've never been the biggest ADA.
Go on.
I've never been the biggest ADA guy, but I think, it's one of those trades where if you're buying an ADA now, you could easily carry that back to the 75, 80 cents all the way to $1, that kind of a range. That's probably how I'd play it. I probably wouldn't try to be holding it for $3 personally. I'd try to keep rinsing that trade that seems to frequently happen. And I've noticed this for the last 2-3 years I've been in crypto, where it's like we keep going down to that 30, 40 cent level, we go back up to $1 through $1.20, and it just keeps doing that over and over. And so for me, that's probably the angle I would take. Like if I was going to buy ADA right now, I'd be looking to be out around $1. I mean, hit a nice little 2x, but there's just other assets where I think I could squeeze more dollar for dollar out of. But I don't think I see some ADAs go to zero in chat. I don't think it's going to go to zero. I just don't know if it's ever going to give you that $3 pump you're looking for.
What cycle? This cycle is over. Potentially. You're right. Maybe. I'm a number guy. So when I like to look at stuff like ADA, I come on their Twitter page, I come on, their website and just see if they're actually posting. I think Charles is still posting. Somebody let me know. I can't be bothered to go and type in his YouTube channel. But I know he was very provident of posting on his little YouTube channel, which I thought was a good thing, which I still think is a good thing, because how many, you think Vitalik Buterin or whatever he's called is posting on his YouTube channel? Probably fucking not. It looks like they're posting all the time, on their main page, like 24th, 22nd, 20th, like they're posting here. And again, ADA's not one of these projects that are going to disappear overnight. It's just not going to happen. Something would have to happen on chain, which I want to talk about with you, Parker, which Aero, I think you've seen that news. I want to talk about that soon. Remind me to talk about Aero, what happened to Aero. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Talking about the website?
Yes, we'll talk about that. But with ADA itself, I don't think there's anything going to happen that's bad. The only thing that's bad that's happening right now is price action. Price action is horrendous because it hasn't done anything this cycle, bar from the big pump, to here. But if you round trip this, you're sitting in red. Okay? But what do I think it can go to? I would love to tell you back in quarter 2 and quarter 3 that it's got a chance of the 3 to 5. Let's be honest, that's what we thought. It just really depends where Bitcoin goes. That's the way I see it, to be honest. If Bitcoin does get to that 150, 160, I don't fucking know if it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen, not this year, in my opinion. It would just have to go so crazy. There's so much bad news as well. But then you're looking at those prices. Right now, 120, 130 might have been your top, which would suck because now you have to wait 8 years to potentially get another ADA price. It's a decade. That's a decade. And I'm right there with you with some of my coins. I am right there with you. So it's not like I'm the smart. I'm there with you. Replace ADA for HBAR. Replace ADA for Ethereum with me. Replace ADA for technically Bitcoin because I haven't sold it. But Bitcoin has destroyed its 69K. That's one of the good things about Bitcoin. And that's another thing I'm seeing in chat and in comments quite a lot. It was just like we should have just held Bitcoin because the guys in ADA that were taking more risk to beat Bitcoin's gains, so far they should have just bought Bitcoin. And I'm right there with you with some of my coins. That's the reality. So I like ADA, think it's going to do well, but price action right now, short term, it's in the toilet. That's just reality. Good Twitter page, posting all the time, nice to see. But again, if we're talking about price, that doesn't fucking matter. Because what matters is how much is one ADA worth to how much you bought it. And if it hasn't came close to where you're at, you either sell or you hodl strong. Portfolio is 80% Bitcoin. Most alts can drop to 60%.
Honestly, he's probably doing okay. Yeah, 80% Bitcoin.
Yeah. And it just seems to be what we've seen. The guys in Bitcoin have done significantly better. And again, I'm not for this or against this. I am an altcoin junkie and so are you. Like, we love that game. Okay. I think one, because it's fun. But number two is because we're trying to beat Bitcoin. But the reality, at least my portfolio, is most coins haven't performed significantly as well as compared to Bitcoin. In the last cycle, it was vastly different. Okay. Now, who knows what's around the corner? It could get worse. It could get better.
I think that's kind of the key right there. What you said is using them to try to beat Bitcoin. I think some of us get married to those altcoins though, and we don't use them to then rotate back into Bitcoin or stables and try to arbitrage to get more Bitcoin. And I think that's the key mistake is that we're not using altcoins as a tool to get more Bitcoin faster. I think is how we mess up, at
No,
least in my opinion. Not
no tanks with hoods, bro. I mean, he's a little bit zesty, but you know.
Kyle
Okay,
said $2 ADA.
yeah, when? When? I would take that bet, but when? When? Because I could say $1 million Bitcoin, but when?
Yeah.
When? Okay, let's talk about your point. So, number one, Parker wants to talk about how to know if the market has bottomed, and I would like to know that as well, because I'm sick of coming on YouTube, looking at my portfolio, and seeing another 100K has wiped off the table, another 50K, and then seeing the next day, oh, we're up back 30K. I'm sick of seeing that. So when is the market going to bottom? Okay, we've had the liquidations. We talked about the 20 billion being wiped off. Extreme fear. Let's talk about that. I think we touched, was it 10? I think it was. It was 10 the other day. Yeah, there you go. Yesterday or the day before, which is the lowest since CMC CoinMarketCap have tracked this. I believe one time it went to 9, but CMC has only really tracked this since July 2023. So yesterday or the day before, in fact, yesterday was Extreme Fear 10, was the lowest extreme fear we have ever seen. And what that means to me is, like we said at the start, the hodlers can't take it anymore. They're so effing scared. But, you know, how low can it go? Because it's been the lowest. It's been the lowest. Can it go to 5? Sure. If it goes to 5, Bitcoin's probably going to be sub 60, 65, definitely in the 70s. So
Did we bottom it out?
Did we bottom it out?
How hard is it to hit 1?
I don't know, because it becomes relative as you go down this market. Like, you can probably, like, as we get more stabilized in the market, it's not really going to be relative, at least the way I see it. Because one could be like Bitcoin goes to $1,000, but one could probably mean that Bitcoin goes to 50K, right? Because it's the way I look at this, it's like the hodler, he just doesn't know. That's what it means to me. I'm so scared. I just don't know if I should hold on, buy, or just do nothing. That's the way I look at this. Yeah. So how do you know if the market's bottom, Parker? That was your first point you wanted to bring to the guys. How do you know?
Yeah. So I think liquidations was a big thing that I was looking at. And so, for example, when we talked about on this stream multiple times before, opening up CoinGlass, seeing those liquidations, Bobby was using that 6-month chart there and seeing all those 93K liquidations. I was looking at the 1 year. In the 1 year, we had so many stacked at like that 82, 83K. And that's where I was really driving home that point that, hey, I think we're going to 83. You know, I don't want it to happen either, guys, but we're going there. So if you want
we've already been there.
Do Model 3 for me.
We've already been there. Can I just say that? We've been there.
Well, that's why I'm saying we just hit it.
I need to log in. I don't have a fucking free account. Sorry, guys. We'll just use Model 1.
JK.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, this
You
is
still
Model
can't
3.
change the time frame, though. I don't think.
No, I can't.
You just can't change it.
Can't change
Anyways, the point being, I mean, even without visualizing, there were just so many stacked there on the 1 year time frame, and there was just millions and millions and millions that needed to be taken out. Because remember, retail is always wrong. Traders are always wrong. 99% of people lose. So with that beacon that was glowing there, it was just very, very obvious to me that it's a high potential zone. We were going to go down there, and we did. 2 days ago, we did, and we swept all the way through to 80. The next liquidation stack was looking like, I can pull it up on my end real quick, but it was looking like there was some popping up around 75, but it's definitely not as high a magnet zone as the 83 was. So we'll have to see, boys. But clearing out those long-term liquidations, that's really important for us moving back to the upside, because that means we can have a nice spot-driven rally, which will be good for us.
Okay.
I'm pulling up on my end real quick.
You're too slow. So what does smart money do at the bottom? Okay, that's another thing that he wrote. Number one was they accumulate slowly. They rotate from stables back to major coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Okay. Some people are not as bullish on Ethereum. Let me just say that right now about this cycle. I don't know about you, Parker, and guys in chat. I still am. But some people are not liking Ethereum. Cough, cough, Bobby, that we can talk about on Thursday. He's not really that much of a fan of Ethereum anymore, which is fine. It's slow, it's clunky, but we always say, and the guy always moans about how it costs $20 to send his Ethereum, but the guys with millions, billions of dollars, they don't fucking care. Okay, they just do not care. They start building positions in ecosystems they believe in, example like Sui. So what does smart money do at the bottom, Parker, when you write this? Number one, they accumulate slowly, not all at once. That's what you're doing right now?
Yeah, like the other day we would dip down to 83 and it's like, cool, want to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And I wanted to buy half a Bitcoin and I bought a quarter instead. And then I'm pacing myself to see what happens with the market. And now the market started moving back up the last day. So, it's fun for me that I'm not FOMOing too hard because I got exposure. But if the market ends up reversing, let's say tomorrow we go back down, I'll still have the opportunity to buy again lower. So I'm pacing myself, getting in slowly because I consider myself a long-term investor with a long-term approach. So for me, I'm not really worried what happens between Sunday and Monday. It's not going to change my life.
Yeah. The problem what he said there is not the problem. The problem with doing the opposite of what he says is like the word there slowly, right? Because I know personally what I've done in the past and what a lot of people have done. Let's just say, okay, Bobby was like, okay, 90K is the bottom. And no, he's not calling anything. That's just what he thought. And if it broke that level, now he's at these levels here of about, wait, what was it? This is on the weekly. I think it's 70 kind of 5, his kind of next levels, which would be like back in March, April. That's where he's kind of at right now from speaking to him on one of our group calls on Saturday. But the problem with like, okay, if 90K was the bottom, let's just say, and you generally thought that, it's like you do that and then we go short term to 80 and now it's like we've got even more panic because you're sitting there at home thinking, fuck, I've lost another 10,000. I put all my cash in, and the word he used there was slowly. Slowly is great because it's like it's always just DCA. You don't DCA as in chucking everything. DCA means dollar cost average. If that's weekly, if that's daily, like some people do on a very small amount, or if that's bi-weekly or monthly. What we would say would be a lump sum. You have 100K, you're going to put in 100K, but you can't think, okay, well I do that at 90K, and again you take this to altcoins and it's like way worse. You put that, whatever it was, 90K, but you have to be okay with it going to 80, 75, 70. And if you're not okay with that, you lose because then you lose even more money. The accumulation way, and again, it's just all relative how much money you have. Well, you do it at 90, you do it at 88, you do it at 86, you do it at 85.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it even smarter by putting like little... on exchanges, you can have like little orders there so it can fill when you're sleeping, etc. Because probably a lot of guys here, when it went to 80, 79 on some exchanges, you might have been sleeping.
I was asleep.
You were asleep, right? So the smarter guys, etc., can do that on exchanges. And that's fine to do. But you don't have to do that. You can just wake up and say, okay, I missed 80. I woke up at 83. Okay, that's fine. And you can do that all the way back down. And you can do it all the way back up. That's the way, at least what I've seen in the market, these guys always win. They do not worry about what the price is today, tomorrow, yesterday. They worry about what the price is in 5 to 10 years, personally.
Yep.
Because if you do it the opposite way, you most of the time it will go lower, okay? And you'll wish you had more money to get by cheaper because it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much of the coin you're interested in for the future, okay? And I think that is only a good strategy right now on Bitcoin and potentially Ethereum. I think if you're doing that on anything else, you have to be okay with it really bleeding. Let's be honest. Because if you did that in Sui, again, there's no hate the word Sui, but if you did that in Sui, September, okay, you bought 370, 320, 250, 210. And by the way, if you lump sum, you had no money left, by the way. That's the difference, okay?
Look at that nasty cascade, bro. That's so bad.
Hey, I mean, I don't want to say it, but it's tough, okay? And again, you can put this on any single coin. There's Jasmy. There's Link. There's Kronos. There's HBAR. There's AVAX. Everything is so bad, bar from Bitcoin Cash, I think, last time I checked, because my roommate, Ram, shout if you're watching this, he wakes up and he's so happy because he's catching me in portfolio value. It's actually getting me pissed off a little bit. We have like this biggest competition. Like I'm bleeding so much, I'm losing hundreds of $1,000s on paper, and his portfolio is going the other way. So he's at like, I don't want to say exactly how much. I don't even know how much. I think he's at 3 to 350. I don't even want to check. I think it's up a little bit today, which is nice. I'm at 820. Okay, that's a lot better than 770 when I checked the other day. But he could beat me if Bitcoin Cash just outperforms mine. I don't think he's going to beat me long term, but it's becoming that competition. Like there was maybe $700,000 in it between. Now there's maybe like 550. Okay, and I can bleed and he can gain. And that's the risk he takes. Okay, he loves Bitcoin Cash. That's his goal. I don't fucking like it. I don't not like it. I just don't think it's viable for me to buy it. And yeah, we were joking the other day. It was like, I'm like, oh, he's like, Jake, you're going to get in Bitcoin Cash. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm getting in Bitcoin Cash because by the time I want to get in Bitcoin Cash, I'm going to be buying, you're going to be selling to me. There's no way I'm letting that fucking trade happen. So there's that. But it just goes to show you that some people can play catch up on coins right now, but most of us are eating shit. That's just the reality. So Interesting points there. Accumulate slowly.
I'd say.
Go on.
Oh, go ahead, man.
No,
Go ahead.
No. You let those sleeves talk, bro. You let those sleeves come out, bro.
I was just gonna say, I mean, with the fear and greed index just maxing out at the bottom there, and just retail being wrong 99% of the time, it's nice to see chat like 95% bearish. Makes me feel good about picking up bags.
Interesting. Let's talk about this chart. This is not a chart. This is an image. Maybe I should zoom in. Parker, when I show you this chart, image, and people in chat as well, what do you think? What do you think when you see this?
What about it? I mean, that's the usual chart that we see all the time.
That's the usual chart we see all the time. But really, what I'm focusing on here is the words. Okay, and these words are feelings. Because, again, I don't know about you, but I just know from personal experience, like we've been in the game so long, we've like kind of like, oh, nothing can really happen to us. Unless Bitcoin went to zero, I'd be depressed. But until that day, I'm fine. But the thing about this chart is, and the thing about these feelings is, it's very important to start ticking off these boxes and get them out the way first. Because no matter if you're the best investor, the smartest guy, you will feel all of these at least once. And it's much better to tick them off and get them out the way as fast as possible, because then nothing can phase you. That's reality. When we do boxing, okay, Parker, and you'll know this, have you started training yet? No? Okay, he hasn't started.
Monday, start tomorrow.
And the longer he leaves it, when he gets hit in the face, when he out of breath
Anxiety,
from round two,
denial, fear.
He's going to feel all of this stuff. So the quicker he gets out that way until we fight on February or March, he's not going to be prepared. And we take this back to cryptocurrency and anything you do in life, it's very important to get these boxes ticked off. Because in 2021, me pulling up to my first cycle, I felt optimism. Okay, I bought Bitcoin 17, 18K, late 2020. Wish I bought in the C19 crash, but I was too much of a paper hand pansy to do that. But it wouldn't have mattered anyways because I lost it all. So it doesn't really matter. By the time we got to 2021, kind of June time, okay, I was getting thrilled. I was getting euphoria. I was looking at my portfolio go up all the time. When we hit that 50% drop in a very short amount of time, anxiety, denial, fear, panic came. I felt the same thing at late 21 when we got up to that second rally. Okay, I went through all these, but when Celsius fucked me, I had to feel this big time because I realized those coins were not coming back. I might have got a payout, and I did get a little payout, but compared to the overall size of my portfolio, I had to really feel these. And if I never felt those, what we are feeling right now, I would have to feel those. So it's very important that you tick off these boxes as fast as possible. Whether you like it or not, you're going to feel all of this stuff in cryptocurrency investing. You're going to feel all of this in fucking investing in the S&P. Because if you look at the S&P, you know, it's not down 20%. I think it's down 2%, 3%. But that's a lot of money compared to if you've never seen it. If you have $100 and you lose $20, okay, on an investment account, you will feel the same thing. It's just all reality. If you have $100,000, you lose 20 grand. You're going to feel all this if you've never lost anything, because when you have your little bank account, you don't see the money losing to inflation. You see 100K as 100K. But the purchasing power, you don't realize. So it's very important you tick up these boxes, and if you don't do that, it's about time you start doing it, because it's going to feel so much more easier across your cryptocurrency journey, because chances are you're here for the long game. Chances are. It's important. That's all I'll say on that.
Buy the fear. You got to buy when blood is in the streets. And people are saying you're buying too early, but you're not listening to what we talked about like 3 slides ago. We said get started slowly, dip in. So we're buying slow. We're getting back in the game. But if we keep going down, say this isn't the bottom, you might be right. We're going to keep going. If we did go down to 60K, that's cool. I'm still continuing to DCA, get more on the way down. And some of you guys are going to keep waiting for that perfect entry, keep pushing your entries back because you're scared, you think it's going to go farther, and then you're going to miss it. So it's important just to get started, start getting in, buy the fear. Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own, man.
I got to call somebody out in chat here because I keep seeing him and he's pissing me off. So it's all love. We know who we're going to talk about, okay? When I see a profile photo with no name, okay, number one, I'm just like, okay, mother's basement, probably just sitting there with his $100 portfolio. And then I see the comments. None of you know nothing about crypto. That's a disrespect to me and Park, and it's a disrespect to the chat. Number two, my third cycle can't tell me jack. Number three, these dudes are all talk, they know nothing. But the comment you made before that kind of makes me a little bit questioning on your brain and your IQ, because you said quant will be 5K to 8K. In what fucking world, bro? Clip this.
80 to 120 for years.
I'm a quant holder. I am a quant holder. I've sold a little bit back in 24. I think I rotated it to some coin. I can't remember, but I still have a decent size of my quant. I am a big quant holder, day 464. So I am with you on that. But in what world is this coin going to be worth $5,000 to $8,000? I hope so. But when you say none of you know nothing about crypto, but you're saying quant is going to be worth $8,000, what the fuck do you know about crypto, bro? Again, it's all love, but let's just be, again, this guy's going to get burned so heavily because chances are you've been in quant for such a long time, like me, you haven't made any money on quant. Zero money.
Explain why it won't, bro. Explain why it won't.
I mean, it just hasn't done anything this cycle. So here's why I got invested in quant, right? And I love quant, by the way. This is all love to you, bro. But like, you can't come in here just making those price predictions because it'll just get people wrecked. Because if I've seen that and I'm brand new and I'm watching a Jake Gordon, Parker at Ray stream, I'm like, okay, well, I'm holding this. Okay, because I'm going to be a fucking multi-millionaire if I have any amount of money in quant. Quant was great in 2021 and it's still great right now, okay? Quant is great because the max supply is less than Bitcoin. That was what I was interested in. It's also got revenue compared to most of these other coins that don't. It's partnered with some sort of bank. There's something going on there for sure. But again, it's just like what we talked about with ADA. The price has done nothing. It's the exact same thing as ADA, and a lot of these coins out of 2021 bull run, we're at $70. And again, I'm in here with you, brother. We haven't came close to 350, 360, 400, whatever it was in 2021. So, harsh reality of this is like you might have you could be right in the long term. 2030, I don't think you're going to see 5 to 8K. But the harsh reality is, if you get 100% in quant, you should have just bought Bitcoin. It's just where you should be. And now maybe you rotate your Bitcoin profits to quant right now, for good or bad, but it's done nothing, bro. It's done absolutely nothing. So, quant is ahead of its time, fam. The time will come. Again, bro, I'm with you. I'm actually with you because I still have my quant. But yeah, I never said you're 100% in quant, bro. It's all love. But you can't be calling those price predictions, especially, I don't know, it's just crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy. But let's see if it happens. I hope it does. We'll see. We'll see. What else you got in this little shitty list, Parker? Your personal strategy right now.
1 second.
What?
I was just doing the math on that, multiplying.
Okay, give me the math.
Yeah, $80 quant right now. Let's say he said it would go to 5K. That's a 62x. 62x on its market cap would make it a $58 trillion asset, bro. You're literally insane.
How much X was that? Did you say?
Anyways,
How much X?
well, I did 62x.
Okay, so I've got $27,000 in mine right now. Yeah, it'll be worth 1.7 million. I hope so, bro. Like again, but market cap is a real thing, somewhat. Yeah, there is that. But I would agree that if you like quant, if you like the vision of it, under $1 billion market cap, comparing this to other coins out there in memes, and I don't think any gaming coins are really above that right now because they're getting wrecked. I would say it's a good buy, to be honest. If you wanted to accumulate quant and you were okay with handling shit, under $1 billion for what it's doing, I don't argue with that as a buy. But I have a big problem with you with these $5,000 to $8,000 marks because what if it goes to $2,000, $2,500, and you don't sell? Yeah. Let's talk about your personal strategy. You got 4 points here. Break it down for the guys. We're smashing through time, man. We got to get through this.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the same thing we were talking about slow accumulation. There's no rush. Talking about earning yield on stable coins. So for example, like I still have bags of staples. They're still earning like, let's say 6 to 8%, like over on Navi, for example, 8 to 9%. So that's with no volatility, just earning income off of those, using those to buy coins literally for free. And then increasing DeFi positions to just increase cash flow that I'm again earning for free to buy the dips. So it's just taking a lot of that stress and pressure off to where I'm not getting so emotional in chat right now. So, and I focus on the quality coins, So even let's say SUI does continue to go down or Bitcoin continues to go down. It's like, okay, I'm buying the quality coins I believe in. I'm not gambling. I'm just continuing to invest for free off of the assets and the income they're already earning me.
All right, this guy, Resilience1239, I can see your comment a million times. So, I will answer your questions. Because Gala is an interesting one. Still hold it. Was great in 2021. What is my Gala position worth right now on paper? Holy guacamole. I am down $12,000, $13,000 on Gala. Gala Games has let me down big time. It was a great run for me in 21, Problem was I cashed out to Ethereum, put that Ethereum back in Celsius, lost it all. So I made money on Gala in 21, but lost it to Mashinsky and his wife buying designer handbags. Anyways, Gala in 2025, the whole gaming ecosystem as itself, in my opinion, is cooked, is absolutely in the toilet. Okay? The only chance we have, before I answer this question, what's your opinion on gaming coins this cycle?
I'm not a big fan of this cycle, to be honest. It doesn't mean they won't do anything. I'm not invested in them anymore.
Zero gaming coins are tall in your portfolio.
Zero gaming in my portfolio.
Short term, he's winning because all the gaming coins in my portfolio are now in the toilet. Big time. Big time. Can we talk about Gala, Sand? I don't know what Paul is. Sand, Shiba, and Sand. Sand, Shiba, and Sand. I guess you mean Sand and decentralized. What's it called? Mana? Decentralized Mana, or whatever it's called, because they're basically the same coins with the metaverse in 2021. These are old coins. Okay, these are old coins that did fucking amazing in 21, but in 25, they've been in the toilet. They've been absolutely in the toilet. What's your opinion on them? Do they have a chance of a recovery back to highs? And that's what we said at the start of the stream with ADA, with Sui, with AVAX. Well, not Sui really, because it's not a 2021 run, but I'm really talking about the $5 kind of mark. What basically happened was all these guys are bag holding because they're looking at the 2021 price. And that's what I did with Gala. That's what I did, exact same thing. It is so far off. Parker, can you do the maths? 0.075 compared to, I think, got to 70 cents. Is that 100x? Maybe.
70 cents? Yeah, it's 100x. Yeah, just a little
100x.
under.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you're going to get close to that. Again, I think when gaming comes around, if it comes around, maybe, but the problem is, I don't know how they're doing developing. I've just held the coin for so long now, I kind of give up on even looking. They had a whole lawsuit, etc., which kind of pissed me off. The main founder of Gala Games is extremely overweight. I wish I looked into that before I bought the coin because that really pisses me off, to be honest, because if he can't take control of what's on his little food plate, how is he going to take control of an actual team, etc., etc.? I don't know about you, but just fat guys, they piss me off when they're trying to make us money because they can't control what's on their fucking plate at the end of the day. I mean, that's just reality, man. If you can't control the basic stuff, your mental health, going to the gym, eating a clean diet, how are you going to build a mental project? Because whenever I cheat on my diet, I don't want to do anything, okay? I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit and sleep. Anyways, Gala Games reaching its previous 2021 high, not going to happen. In my opinion, can do well, but not going to happen. The same with Sand and the same with the other project, and there's also Axie Infinity. As far as Shiba, I'll do this one real quick. Parker, any thoughts on Shiba Inu?
I mean, I don't have any thoughts on it. I can look at it if you want me to look at the chart, but I don't hold any. I haven't.
Yeah, meme coins are great, man, when they get the run. Like, meme coins are fucking amazing when they're great. It's the number 2 asset in terms of market cap.
Ooh, that thing's down as bad as Sui.
It's not as bad as Say. But again, if you like Sheeb, if you like Dodge, if you like Pepe, if you like Pudgy Penguins, it's one of my brother's favorite coin, and he's bleeding so hard. It's such a shame. Pudgy Penguins was supposed to make him his first 100k, and all it's done is losing money and think about cryptocurrency as the biggest scam in the world. But that's the reality. That's the reality. He bought the top, and now he's holding on. He should honestly just sell, to be 100% honest, but he'll learn the hard way. And he's having to go back to that chart what we showed you before. He got the euphoria, he got the highs, and now he's feeling the depression, the anxiety. What if? What should I do? So yeah, Shiba, great coin, 21. Can probably still do well this run. It's really going to depend what Dogecoin. I think they're going to be around long term. Dogecoin for sure. I just think it's never ever going to go away. In my opinion, it's just got too much brand authority in some of these coins. Is that's all it's built on. There's nothing else this coin can do, apart from brand. Okay, Shiba kind of in the same boat, not as strong, but less market cap, more returns. Everything else in this list, you're playing with fire. You're playing with absolute fire. They're going to be here, they're not going to be here, or they're going to do nothing. But Dodge and Shiba, I think, have still the chance. Everything else, Pepe maybe as well, by the way, because people love Pepe for the memes. Far from that, you're playing with fire. You're playing with father. Pengo going to be one of the best memes in 2026. Again, comments like that, just remind me of me in 21. Again, it could happen, could not. Hope it is for you, but yeah, if you're holding on, do what you can. But again, it's such a better strategy to build a diversified portfolio. If you have done that, great. If you're 100% in Pengu, I'd be nervous. The mindset, okay? The mindset that wins. If the market's bottomed, you're positioned. If it hasn't bottomed, you're still earning your own stacking. Either way, you win. Let's talk about that, Parker, and then I'll get to the YouTube community. Like I think we've got 2 questions I want to answer. What do you mean by that? The mindset that wins. If the market bottoms, you're positioned.
Yeah, I mean, if the market, let's say the market bottomed at 80K, I got in, I got exposure. So like, I'm happy that I at least got something in at the bottom. If it hasn't bottomed and the market continues to move back down, let's say break into the 70s, I'm still earning yield through DeFi, off stable coins, off pools, and I still have dry powder that I can port in at lower prices and lower my entries. Either way, I feel like I've won because I bought the dip, and if it dips harder, I have more cash to buy the dip of the dip. And if the dip of the dip of the dip comes, I'm prepared as well.
He's getting so much more confident, man. His real personality is starting to come out. I promise you, man. He's actually quite fun. When we first started doing these streams, he was like this. Oh, I'm so nervous. But now, just with a comment like that, he's starting to come out. Look, he's got no sleeves on. He's not afraid to show his little muscles. It's coming out. It's coming out. But you better be starting to train boxing very soon, son. You better start. You better start
Monday.
You start Monday. You heard that. Next Monday, I'm going to ask him the question. Did you start? Okay, and we'll see what he has to say because I can bet.
It's tomorrow for me.
Okay. Well, it's Monday for me already, so I thought you meant next week. So you're starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay, let's talk about 2 comments. They're going to be probably for you, Parker, but I can jump in here. How to start with pools from a beginner perspective. We love that question. We love that. Why are you laughing?
Do I need steroids like you to be good at crypto? That just cracked me up.
Yes, you do. You do, because it will give you the mindset. And the fact that you think I'm on steroids, by the way, I'm on testosterone, but real steroids, gives me the biggest combination ever when I go to the gym. And if you're on steroids and nobody thinks you're on steroids, like Parker, that's a harsh reality. That's a harsh reality because it's not working for him. What are the risks with pools, Parker, and what can you expect yield-wise? Let's be serious. Let's lock in. We've got 15 to 18 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest risk with pools is generally just the assets you choose. So it's going to be what inventory you're taking of what coins. So if you're chasing APRs because you see they're paying well, but you're buying stuff like Fartcoin or Useless that are going to go down 50%, or if you're buying Sui and it goes down 50%, right? The risk is that I had all that exposure to Sui. Or if I was in something more stable, like a Bitcoin position, I'd be down 20% this month, right? So the biggest risk is just going to always be the assets you actually choose, because there's stuff that'll look really attractive, and it is because they can go down and chop like crazy, aka black hole.
I want to show something real quick on stream. Where is it? Look at this. What does that say, Parker?
150K.
150K.
Yeah, rub it in my face. Why don't you?
Today is the 24th, 7:15. 150,000 pound. What am I doing with that 150,000 pound? Let's see. Interesting.
Oh yeah. What'd you buy?
Let's keep it quiet. Everything's I'm broke, but I just had 150,000 pound come in my bank account this morning. That's $210,000 in your country. Everybody talks about my little Rolex. It's not a Rolex. Anyways, beginner perspective on pools. Clip that. Here's the thing with pools, right? We always say this. I don't want to dive in this too much because it's just like some of these guys are not for pools. But if you are asking these questions, KB961, like pools are one of the best things you can do if you know what you're doing. You want to go asset to asset. You want to look at your portfolio. And what yields can you expect, Parker? Well, it just depends. Are you on Pepe? Are you on Dodge 69,000? Are you on some meme coin? Your yields are going to be crazy. Are you on Zora? We've talked about guys in our group running Zora. Those yields are going to be crazy, okay? But your safe assets, we aim for 6 to kind of 10% per month. They can be more than that, depends on the volatility. I know Solana pools have been paying well if you can manage your downside. But if you can't, you're going to be able to range, and that's the biggest problem you have. So the biggest risk you have with pools is if you go under an asset like him with Blackhill, okay? But the good news is he's recovered his fees as far as I'm aware. And if those assets don't come back, the biggest thing I would tell you to do if any of you guys are watching this with pools is just start small and go in assets you like. Parker, last questions on this one. Any tips on strategies for managing your pools? Like what informs and what ranges do you set? How long do you leave them before redoing? And maybe you recognize, love your work, Jake and Attitude. Thanks for your videos. What's your best strategies for managing pools?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a multi-angled question. So it would depend. I'd love to talk to you and find out more exactly what you want to know. I would say go wider and higher time frame than you think. So for example, when I'm setting ranges, I like, especially asset to asset, I use the daily chart. and I'm using those support resistance levels between the two assets like a forex trader probably would. And that's where I'm trying to set my levels. And I'd go wider than you think. I'm not looking at those tight ranges. I'm setting them wide and sacrificing, a little bit of APR to stay in range and get the appreciation out of the assets that I want. So it just, specific questions are easy to answer than something so open-ended. But really, it's just go wider than you think, zoom out, and don't chase. Just be happy with boring sometimes.
Yeah, boring, man. And
Because boring is good.
Boring could be 4% per month on a super wide range in two assets you like, and that's like 50% per year, and you are winning, man. You are winning. Everybody tries. We say 6 to 12, but then people will try and stretch it to 15 to 20 on the under. They'll realize, okay, I'm out of range. Especially in markets like today. Now, if you can find two assets that are correlated, long story short, it's so much better to be in these pools long term, man. 4% per month. I mean, you get 4% per year on most investments. You're doing okay, especially if it's assets that go up. Okay, that's when you really win. But if you're getting 4% per month, you're compounding, etc. You're retained to other pools that you want to try. I would be okay with that. That's one of the biggest things I've learned is being okay with just setting it wide, e.g. your ranges, letting it fly, and just accumulate coins that you believe in. Especially if you're here for the long term, man. I don't think you're going to be discouraged by that. Don't think you're going to be discouraged. Yo, Ryan Little, the pools
Ryan's in chat. Yo, the pools are printed. Yeah,
you know where Ryan is right now? So Ryan's actually annoying me, right? Ryan keeps fucking up his visa. He went to Malaysia, okay, and then he went to Vietnam. He didn't even go to the good place in Vietnam. He went to the shittiest place in the world. I told him to go to Da Nang, which is like where people go. It's like where the nice coffee is, where you can find some good workspaces, etc. You can meet a good few guys. I met one of my old friends there called Joey. He took me to a shisha place, but he's in the sticks right now. Ryan, we need to have you back, man. We need to have you back in 5 days, okay? It's getting a little bit towards a joke, but what he's doing is he's on a solo mission. He's trying to get a visa, a long-term visa, because Thailand right now are changing their visa rules. It's getting very difficult to stay here long-term, being sketchy and just doing visa runs all the time. Why are you laughing, bro?
This chat's trolling. It's funny.
What are they saying, bro?
Just earlier talking about pools or pills, and everyone's like, "Yeah, how do I get crypto pills?" And it's getting all fucking weird in chat. I love it.
It's getting. Oh, there's two words I hate that I can't pronounce. I said this in Saturday's call with my guys. I apparently say D5 pills, and I say H bar, HATC. How do you say H bar? I'm sick of this.
I say H. You say H, like you fucking trying to kill it.
So what I did is on my YouTube comments, I've now disabled the word H. HATCH, so nobody can comment that ever again. I dare somebody to comment on a normal video, and what they'll do is they'll be smart about it. They'll miss out the T, and they'll go, hey, they'll still troll me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I never knew I said pills. I never knew I said H.
I thought it was just a UK thing.
It's maybe a UK thing. Pills are paying
Brian
for
said
my
pools
place.
are paying for his place, though, and the Vietnamese local women. I'm dead. Okay.
You better make sure your girlfriend's not on this chat, bro, because if she is, it's GG for you. It's GG for you.
Oh.
Before you go, thoughts on Render, future price predictions. I think we hit a record here in chat. I think we had over 300 people. That is a record. We appreciate that, guys. Thoughts on Render, future price predictions. Render is a difficult one because it is the poster boy for AI, although it was, okay? That's what it was. I believe, last time I checked, it's still up there. Where's AI? But I think BitTensor Tau is ahead of it. I don't like how ICP... Is ICP a fucking AI project? Last time I checked, it really wasn't. I hate that. Is that right?
I never considered it as one, but...
Yeah, it's there. Render is difficult. It's very difficult right now if you're a Render holder because you are basically down more than 80% if you bought the tops. I remember making a video about Render. I think it was at like 70 to kind of $1. It might be even less, like how I completely fumbled the bag by not buying Render. And now we're getting very close to those kind of levels, okay? To those kind of levels. The issue with Render is when we get those questions, it's always nice to see what price you bought it at. Because it's a very different story if you bought Render at 10, 12, 15, whatever it went to, or 12 and some change, comparing to buying at 150, or comparing to buying back in the day at 40, 50, 60 cents. Because you get a completely different story on your goal, on your coin, if you bought high or you bought low, or if you're buying right now. What do you think with Render, Parker?
I think we're exactly at my first entry on Render, which is $1.75, because you had missed the boat. You were like, oh, I'm never buying this coin unless it's under $1 again. And then I finally bought it like 175, like what, 2 years ago? And so, yeah, it's interesting to see it back because we rode that up to like what, $12. I remember my Phantom wallet was looking juicy with that in there, and it's I never sold any.
Render was supposed to go to $100. Well, to who? To some YouTuber that said that? Imagine if it was me. Sorry, guys. I don't think I've ever said that. I thought Render was a realistic play at 25 to 50 when things were hot. And that was when, again, we all learn our lessons. When cryptocurrency was hot, now again, it could go there. This market cap's, again, under $1 billion for like one of the top AI projects. You look at NVIDIA, it's not NVIDIA. We get that. But it's a market. What's NVIDIA's market cap? Can you check that, Parker, where I'm talking? Like, we look at projects like NVIDIA in the real world that I think is now number one. I think it overtook Tesla. I don't really know, like 100% facts, but it went on one of the biggest bull runs ever in a stock, right? If you look at Render, what is it?
NVIDIA's 4.3 trillion.
4.3 trillion. I don't want to do the maths from 1 billion to 4.3 trillion, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, it would definitely make you the price of going above $100, but this is not NVIDIA. Okay, this is cryptocurrency. This is a smaller ecosystem right now. In the future, obviously, we expect it to be, more people in, et cetera, et cetera. You just have to understand your risk/reward with Render. If Bitcoin drops big time, big time, your altcoins are going to get wrecked. That doesn't mean Render's a bad project. That does not mean, again, we always say just because the price goes down, it doesn't mean it's a bad project. It's just the time has not came around. You look at many coins in 2020 and 2021. They were bad projects, but when they hit their local tops, they were great projects. The price does not always determine the future value of cryptocurrency. It's hard to, like, when people on stock YouTube channels, I hate this. That's why I don't watch them. But those guys can get a fair valuation of what a coin's worth, e.g. market cap, because they can say, okay, well, how much is the company doing in terms of revenue? When you ask that question to cryptocurrency, you have to exclude 99.9% of them because none of them produce any revenue. Right now, they're all visions, they're all et cetera, et cetera. With stuff like Render, they're doing real stuff. But like most projects don't have that first question to answer, so you can't really value them as far as I'm considered. You ask the question as well, how much is in their team? What are they doing, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard to give a fair value right now in cryptocurrency assets. All we really can do is, well, if Bitcoin's going down, bar from Zcash and what the other one, the Bitcoin Cash that Ram's holding, most of these coins are going to go down. But if you believe that Bitcoin's going to be worth higher than it is today, at 150, 200, in the future, 10 years down the line, $1 million, and Render's still around, that's the best bet of your life. Because then it'll probably be worth $100 for sure. But right now it's not. So keep that in mind if you're looking at Render. I think it's great. I still have some. You can do Render and Solana on Orica and get some juicy APYs. It's not as crazy as it used to be. There's not much TVL, but you can make that work if you want. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Render. Jake,
I remember holding Render up for $25, and I just sat there waiting, didn't take any out, all the way up to like 12, didn't take a thing out. So make sure you take profit, boys. Make sure you take profit.
Here's a question about profit before we wrap this up. If anybody has any interesting questions there, Parker, that you can find that are actually valuable, let me know, because we're wrapping up here in 6 minutes. This is a question for everybody, but it's addressed to me. Jake, did you at any time in this run think you wish you had sold everything? It's a question that's an obvious yes, because at 125 or 126 or 125.5, theoretically, I could have sold the $1.3 million, sold all the altcoins and rebought back in today and had a spare $600K to buy 3 Lamborghinis, to buy a rental property, to buy coins and double my bag. So yes, of course, I wish I would have sold, but who did? Did you? Did you? No. Did you, Parker?
Yeah, I mean, obviously wish would have, right? But it just introduces more complexity too. Like, are you going to sell at the right time? Are you going to buy back in on the right time? So just doing nothing and taking the long-term approach, for me, it's comfortable.
Adin Ross did. Adin Ross is getting sued by Stake with Drake for $100 million. Okay, so anything Adin Ross does or says, take it with a grain of salt. Because he makes money on little kids going to stake.com and pretending he's making all of these money on these trades and like he wins this 250K cash out, but it's not real. He makes money on people using that platform and Stake wins and he wins. He has like a $2 to $5 million contract with Stake every single month. He does not make any money. He is, I'm not going to say it, but he's a great content creator. He's great at Twitch or YouTube or whatever he does. He's fucking amazing at that. But he did not sell the top. Okay, anything he says regarding investments, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, just keep that in mind. So again, turn that last question. We've got 4 minutes left. Do you wish you sold? Of course, man. I would have doubled my bags. I could have bought an extra 4 Bitcoin, whatever, and some change with Ethereum, etc. But I didn't. Because, again, I looked at October 25 and thought, okay, the cycle's playing round. We're in Q4. We're ready to do what 2021 did. And it didn't happen. So, yeah. Okay, go. 3 minutes left.
If you have money, should you wait or buy now for Bitcoin?
We talked about this.
Yeah, I know. So you want
We
to answer
talked
one more
about this.
time? Fast version?
You either DC on the way down, right? And you're absolutely fine if you can handle more pain. Again, the chart that I spoke up before, the fear, the denial, etc. If you're okay with that and you've been in the game, if it's 30K, 20K, 10K, $1,000, split it up. Split it up into 4 to 6 chunks. And just buy every single week. Or if you want to be quicker, buy every single couple of days. Or if you want to be longer, buy every single month. And you should not worry, because the version of you in 10 years' time, if you're 30, if you're 40, the version of you at 50 or 60, if you're 20 right now, and the version of you at 30, is not going to fucking worry. It's not going to give a fuck. It's the fact that you got in and you held. It's not going to matter. If you do it all in one, it might be difficult if Bitcoin does go to 60, 65, 70K. You might kick yourself a little bit. But if you split it up, if it's 100K, 10K, or $1,000, it's not going to matter, or it shouldn't matter short term, but in the long term, you'll be grateful that you did that.
Is the bottom in? Do you think the cycle top is in? We have a bottom in question right below it. Is it the top in?
What do you think?
I think there's potential for a lower bottom, but I don't think the top is in. No, I don't. I think 140K is still in play for probably early next year, to be honest.
Early next year, Q1?
That is Q1, yeah.
Okay. And again,
and then also just talking about should you buy right now, it's like just open up a trading view chart and look at like the downside. Like look at the downside of going to 75K. If you were to port everything in right now, your downside's 15%. And if we go back to all-time high, it's 40% of the upside. Not saying you should place your trades that way. I think you should still DCA, but you can look at it and see like worst case, if I think Bitcoin does go down to 75K and we touch those lower liquidation points, like what is my downside really? And it's a momentary 15% on Bitcoin, which is the asset I want to hold for the long term.
Yeah, your downside is 50, whatever the money is, and altcoins could be different, etc. But your upside is asymmetrical. Okay, your upside is you saying in 20 years' time, in 30 years' time, you're around the fucking Christmas of 2030, 2035, 2045, and your little kids are like, Dad, you fucking took that risk. That's your upside. Your downside is fucking nothing in Bitcoin. It's short-term pain. It's you sitting in your little dark room, pulling up your 9-to-5 job for maybe 6 months or 1 year time. That's your downside. So if you're okay with that, and chances are if you do nothing, you're going to be in the same situation ever. If you do nothing, you're going to be in the exact same situation. So your upside is asymmetrical on Bitcoin, and it gets even crazier on altcoins if you choose the right horse. But the problem is that nobody knows the right horse right now. That's just the reality. Because again, what we said at the start is a lot of these altcoins are nowhere near their 2021 high. But again, if you want to be the guy that sits around at the table with the good story, take the bet. We took the bet. I'm in the bet. And that's where I plan to play my game.
It's about the story, man.
It's about the story.
If you don't feel just a little queasy in your stomach buying a fuck ton of Bitcoin, it's probably not a good price.
Yep. We have 30 seconds left. Anything else, Parker, you want to say? There's no time for any more questions. Any more value you can say before we sign this off? We appreciate you guys being here. This has definitely been a record in terms of viewers. We will be back, me and you, Wednesday, 2 days' time from now, and we will be back with Bobby if you want to hear his thoughts on his 90K level being broken. Don't give him a hard time. He never said it was definite, but we will be back.
GG, boys.
GG. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Isaac, appreciate it.